Yo, 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 what's up, AJ? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. What's good, my boy? How we doing today?
Oh man, I'm good. I'm good. Just trying to, get through the day. How about yourself?
Same here, just grinding. You know how I go.
All right, all right. Well, I tell you what, man, I know it's been a long day already. We had a long evening yesterday, tomorrow, but I know today is gonna get hot. I know that the chat is gonna be blowing up. But before we get started, we'd like for each and every one of you guys, if you know someone, you can look on the ticker. The ticker is going to be going across the screen. Just make sure that you're able to see that, and that's pretty much about it. So I want you guys to look at that ticker. Tell us the YouTube. That's our YouTube channel at Elite 100 Prospect 6. That is where we'd like for you to go. So please, if you could, make sure that you do that for us. Let's see what else we got going on. Okay, so we got Rob Walker. Let's go. All right, so we got Rob Walker. All right, so the chat, like I said, is gonna come in slow and surely. Uh, AJ, you want to tell them a little bit about sponsorships and where they could, if they're interested in where they can get with us at?
Yeah, sponsorships are always important. It helps us fund all of the events that we do have, highlighted by our senior all-star game. Um, and that's always at the end of the football season. The largest expense for that is always jerseys. Have to pay the refs, all that kind of stuff. So if you want to be a sponsor, a year-long sponsor, help sponsor some of the live stream games, things of that nature. We can include commercial packages, different things of that nature that can help your business. But you can reach out to us at elite100prospects at gmail.com, or you can DM us on any of our social media platforms: Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok.
Yeah, and one of the things about that sponsorship that we're definitely looking for is we want to be able to live stream our game of the week. So if you know someone who's interested in that, please let us know because we want to be able to live stream those games of the week. We know that they're going to be important, so we're looking at that. Also, he said, "What's the Cash App Zelle?" Uh, and Coach AJ, you can give him the Cash App.
Um,
Or
Actually, to be real, we don't even have a cash app. We have personal cash app, but that's something that we will definitely create tonight.
all right, cool beans. We'll definitely get it out there. We'll have it ready for you by the next show. All right. Let's see now. Uh, we talked a little about. So let me go. We do have a big commitment tomorrow. You have Josh Alexander. He will be committing tomorrow. So uh, we expect Big Josh to do well. Wherever he commits to. I think his choices are Pitt, Maryland, Georgia Tech, and North Carolina State. I think those were and UCF. I think those are the five that he was interested in. Uh, Whoever gets him is going to get a still kid with a great motor, great upside, real high upside, real good kid. Shout out once again to Edgewater Eagles. They definitely are helping produce some of the top talent in the area. Uh, Explain to the people that so that everyone understands, because we do have people that see us in other counties. What regions are we covering? Because someone asked me, well, why isn't Lakeland going to be on your top 10? So I figure you might want to let the people know, who it is and all that good stuff.
Right now, currently, we're covering Orange County, Osceola, Seminole, Volusia, Brevard, and Lake County. We got 6 counties covered. We are looking to extend and expand in the next year, to be honest with you, including Polk County, also including Marion and Sumter County. So that would give us an odd number, but Sumter County only has 2 schools, Wildwood and South Sumter. So it's not that big of a deal. We'll just lump them with Marion County. But Polk County is a very large territory, so we just have to make sure that we're properly prepared because we want to do our job to the best of our ability. So obviously we know Lakeland and we know Lake Wales and Kathleen and things of that nature. But when you get into the Bartows and the Sebrings and the Fort Meads, it could get a little extensive.
Yeah, I
But we're
appreciate.
looking to expand though.
All right. Well, we appreciate that. What is my baby girl? Is Oh, you look. My big baby girl came outside. I thought she was bringing out my granddaughter because I was gonna put on the show. But anyway, uh, Hey, so with that being said, those are reasons we covered. Uh, we got a top 10 tonight. Before we get with the top 10, I just want to make sure that we also talk about some of the other teams that didn't make the top 10, but to be honest, they are worthy. You could really make a case that they could all be in the top 10. To be totally honest, so let's go ahead and start with those guys, and let's talk a little bit about them. We would say this the up next crew. So I would say let's start with Wakava. Uh, Wakava definitely was they were a shocker to teams last year. They made the playoffs and they did very well. They had to they had to play they played a monster schedule. They played Lake Minneola, didn't they?
Um,
Or like last
Kava
year.
did like Minneola last year. I can't
Or it might have been
recall.
it might have been the year before,
Year
but they
before.
had a Koi. They had they played a lot of good teams last year, and one thing I always say is a good mark of a good team. I don't think they lost to anybody they shouldn't have. Maybe I think they might have lost to Lake Brantley, if I
They
remember
went
correctly.
5-6 last year. Um, they did play Lake Minneota. You're right, and it was a
Yeah,
close game,
yeah,
27-30. They lost
yeah,
by 3. They
yeah.
lost to Lake Brantley by 5, 12 to
Right,
17. But they beat West Orange. They lost to Edgewater 14-6.
right. That was that.
That's
That's a little. That's a little. That's the game that Cedric wasn't playing, and Chase got hurt.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, but but they have a good team. They got one of the premier players in the
They beat
area.
the Papa last year.
Yeah, they got one. Yeah, which was a big win. They got one of the premier players in Sincere, which and and Sincere is definitely probably one of the top motor kids in the area. But shout out to the Wakaba Mustangs. Up next, we're talking about the D Land guys out there, Bulldogs. And I think,
Bulldogs.
yeah, D Land is now back on the scene. They had some really good teams in the like in 2010, 29, 2009, when they had Pop Sanders, when they beat Apopka to go to the state championship, lost to Geno Smith and those boys down in Miramar. Uh, Looks like Coach Darlington is bringing those guys back. Uh, got a lot of talent out there. We kind of talked about it a little bit yesterday with quarterback TJ Moore, because there's another TJ Moore that's a wide receiver, that's a 4-star, but quarterback TJ Moore and Javen Ross, and then Coach Darlington's own son, and they have quite a few transfers that came in from Deltona. So we think that. Uh, they're outside the top 10, but we really believe that they have a possibility of getting in the top 10.
Yeah, absolutely. D-Land, year 2 with Coach Darlington. I think they'll be a force to be reckoned with this year. I won't be surprised if they do finish in the top 10 by season's end. Year 2, like I said, Coach Darlington, he was able to generate a lot of momentum last season. I think the kids bought in, and that's like the number one thing to building a strong program is kids buying into the movement. And I think they are over at D-Land.
Okay, and then last but certainly not least, we have the Dr. Phillips Panthers. They're on the up next list. To be totally honest, uh, we both expect a big year out of Dr. Phillips. Uh, I just personally think that um, if their receiving core can come together, they're going to be a hard out because we know their defense is going to be their defense was good last year. They were holding teams pretty good, but offensively, if they can come together, I think they're going to be a problem. We know Coach Rodney Wells, if nothing else, he's going to have that defense right. So, what's your thoughts about DP?
Yeah, DP, like you said, year in and year out, they normally have a strong defense, like they did last season. A lot of games, single possession losses for them. Let me pull
Oh
up
yeah,
this.
a lot of games. Like I mean,
The scores are just like they lost to Lake Mary 7-13. They lost to Timber Creek 22-24. That's a 2-point game. They lost to Apopka 6-7 by 1 point. You give up 7 points and you lose a football game. That is very, very
yeah,
hard to like live with.
yeah.
lost to Olympia 11-0. You give up 11 points and you lose. Like so I think Dr. Phillips is. I think this is their year. I think they'll have a strong year led by their defense. Sharp Presley, Alfred Thomas, and I think that Stanley at quarterback. I think he'll have a breakout season to help them get over the hump.
Yeah, I think that they'll definitely make the playoffs, and they have a shot. It's going to come down, to the old rivalry game to see who wins. So that's going to be interesting. All right. So with that being said, get them drum rolls started. We're going to do it like this: top 10. We're going to go from the bottom to the top. Now we're here. All right. So guess what? Top 10. We have Heritage. That's down there in Brevard County.
Palm Bay
Uh,
area. Yep.
yeah, you have Eddie Mays who's over at Heritage and he's doing his thing. Eddie is, for those who know, he's probably Mr. Coco, to be totally honest. I expect a lot out of those guys. I'm pretty sure they're gonna do their thing. So he wanted to make sure that we cleared it. They lost to Jones, uh, which is fair. DP lost to Jones, but anyway, a lot of people lost to Jones. So anyway, we have Heritage, coming in at number 10. I think they will have a really good season, and I'm pretty sure they'll probably be representing Brevard County in their division, their classification.
Yeah, I really like Heritage. This is year 2 for Coach Benson at Heritage. Um, I mean, they got 19 transfers coming in, and they got some guys. Adam Kasai committed to Clemson at defensive end. Also got in Isaiah Cordero, wide receiver, junior wide receiver from Palm Bay. Joseph Tanner, he's going to be the key at quarterback. This is the healthiest I've seen him recently, talking with some people. He's never really had all of the pieces around him like he does this year. So I think it'll be a lot easier on him. And just looking at their schedule, the one team that jumps off is Oviedo. No disrespecting any other of their opponents, but I think Oviedo will be the matchup for them. And if they could beat Oviedo, I honestly could see them running the table. So they have the talent to do that. So it'll be interesting to see how they finish the season.
Yeah, we be remiss too. Oviedo was also in that up next conversation that we had with everybody on the committee. So
They were.
yeah, I definitely want to make sure we give them their props as well. Uh, next up, this one might be a shocker to some, uh, but Osceola. Osceola perennially over the last 2 to 3 years has been in the top, you know, since
4 or 5.
they've been no lower than 4 or 5 for the most
Since
part.
we started.
But this year, they're number 9. They lost a whole lot. That senior class with Bo Masco, John Walker, Derek LeBlanc, Jakeem Jackson, the whole senior class is a problem. Now, they do have a lot of nice young talent. Their linebacking crew is going to be very nice. Their 25 crew is very nice. Of course, they got one of the top running backs in the country, and regardless of class, and Chick Swint. So, but they're, we don't know what they're going to be losing so much, which they have. But I
Right.
do expect EP to do a tremendous job of coaching, which he always does.
Correct. This is a perennial powerhouse in the Central Florida area. It might be a shocker to some to see them this low. But when you talk about the players that they lost, you can also include wide receiver TJ Massey, who
Yep.
quietly had just shot under 700 yards receiving for them. So they lost a lot of production, the leading receiver. So now teams can load up in the box, honestly, to try to take away Chick. And when you look at the teams that they have to play Jones, Lakeland, Seminole. Um, so they got some mainland. They got some opponents to play. So
Yeah,
we'll
they
see.
don't have they don't they have a really really tough out of conference schedule. Like their district, they should run away with it. But one thing I admire about EP is he definitely set them up with tough games, for us to get them ready for the playoffs. All right, so 'cause they play Lakeland as well. Yeah,
Yeah, they play
yeah,
Lakeland, but like I said, it's a program that it's next man up motto. So to
yeah.
them, to the coaches, to the players, obviously they expect to win every game. But on the outside looking in, just having a lot of question marks on who's going to step up and make those key plays and key moments against seniors. They got a lot of young guys, so it's just a wait and see game for them.
Okay, now we blowing up. Now we getting down to you know the phone lines are ringing. But next up, number 8, Lake Minneola. Lake Minneola, some could argue could be higher than this. They did beat Mainland last year. Uh, Lake Minneola,
No, they lost to Mainland.
I thought they beat. Was it Mainland? I thought
Yeah,
they
they
beat
lost to
Mainland.
Mainland.
I thought they won. I could be wrong. I thought they had beat. Uh, they
No,
because
no, I was at that game. They lost to
okay.
Mainland.
All right, well then I was wrong, but it was it was a close game. That's what it was,
Very close
because
game.
we had picked them to get blown out, and they actually played them pretty tough.
Yeah, they lost
So
by. I mean, 26-39. They ended up losing by
yeah,
2 scores, but it was
yeah,
it
it
was
was
a
close.
competitive.
Yeah, it was competitive, but uh, we got Lake Minneola at number 8. They have a lot of guys returning. A whole bunch of guys returning. Coach has done a tremendous job. They've had, the running backs have almost rushed for 2,000 yards every year. Offense is definitely high powered. You have, you know, a defense is actually pretty good as well. You got a little Q over there. You got goggles, I call him. Uh,
Hands, Braylon.
yeah, you got Braylon North,
Yeah,
and you got quite a. You got my guy Duda uh, playing a little bit of everything over there.
yeah, over there. Yeah,
Denari.
Murray, yeah.
So I expect him to do well. And then like I said, Coach Banks always does a tremendous job.
Yeah, Banks always does a tremendous job. I like to tell people any chance I get. Mainland hasn't, I mean, Lake Minneola hasn't lost a game in Lake County in 5 or 6 years. I'm not sure if it's 5 or 6. Banks, he really won't tell me or confirm. So I have to do a little more research. But it's been that long since a team in Lake County has beat them. So, like other teams, they try to load up on an out of conference schedule. This year they play Manatee and Bradenton to kickoff classic. But first game of the season, they got Vanguard. Um, they also play Mainland. They play Wakaiva. And they play Lake Gibson. So I like Lake Minneola. Coach Banks has been doing a great job over there. You talk about the offense, Coach Grant Alford. He does a tremendous job
Yeah,
as the OC. I think he's one of the better quarterback developers. Just looking and listening to him. We had that staff coach last year, the All-Star game, and just listening to their coaching staff on both sides of the ball. You got TA on the defensive side, or Lamont Terrence. So I just like what they got, and the coaches are together. So yeah, Lake Minneola coming in at the 8th spot.
that's Terrence Lamont, yeah, Coach T on the defense
Coach
side,
T.
and they got a lineman over there that's pretty nasty. I forgot his name, but he's going to
Chancellor
be a 20.
Chancellor
Yeah,
Barkley
yeah.
committed to Vanderbilt.
No,
Smart kid.
they got another one too. That's a junior. He won MVP at the elite 250 camp.
50 camp.
But
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
but he was nasty with it. But hey, shout out to those guys. Now we ready. We already down. Do we need a water break or something? We about to get into the top 7 out there. Do we need a break, anything like that?
Nah, we
Are you
good,
ready?
man. This
Oh,
next one.
let me drink my water real quick, and we'll go ahead and put the next one on.
Yeah, so the next one surprised some people. Some people might be disappointed to see them as low. Some people might be surprised to see them this high. But Olympia, it's a program and a team that got in a lot of talent, came back home. Looking at their schedule, they have one of the easiest paths to the state championship in this area, especially in Fort Metro. So Olympia coming in at the 7th spot, I could easily see them being in the top 2 or 3, if not the number 1 team, if they could finish seal the deal. But there are question marks. We haven't seen them play together. We know they have a great collection of talent, but how fast will they be able to gel and play together? That's going to be the key. And if they are able to do that, I think that team at the bottom, Dr. Phillips, I think that'll be the one team that could could mess things up or throw a wrench in their plans for the
Well,
season.
well,
So
well, that's as far as winning the district. I think that
correct.
Dr. Phillips and those guys, they do have to play Wakava. They do have to play, Apopka. So they do play some other, quality teams.
Absolutely.
They definitely, the kids they had transfer in are kids that we know can play. Uh, and we hope they can play. He said need to be top five. Uh, uh, but the biggest thing is, you know, with all due respect to everybody else that the teams that we have ahead of Olympia, I just can't discount, the programs. They're programs. They've been programs, and we've had this discussion many times. We've counted these programs out, and every year in, year out, and quite frankly, uh, if your boy Lake Mineola get to a state championship, which he has been, he could possibly be
Honestly, we
considered a
could have
program. He could
easily.
have been a program as well.
Yeah, yeah, for real,
Yeah.
for real.
But these guys that we have, coming up, they some real heavy hitters in the area, and they have talent. So it's going to be interesting to see if Coach Gabe can bring that team together. He has a good coaching staff. Like you said, it's going to be interesting to see what they do. Hopefully, we hope they go out and do everything they're supposed to do, but we'll see, what happens. That's for certain. So that's why they play the game. So but they definitely have like they're probably talent wise, they're probably top one or two talent wise teams in the area, from top to bottom. But we've seen teams with a bunch of talent not that's necessarily win. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. But I do have faith in Coach Gabe, and I know Coach Gabe is we probably have him higher than he would want them to be. To be totally honest. All right. Next up, number 6.
Seminole.
Seminole. Yeah, we got those Seminoles. That's what they call
Yep.
it, Seminoles.
Seminoles.
But we got those guys coming up. Seminole, you know, historically has been one of the better teams in Central Florida. They do have a change in coaching and they have a change in quarterback. Um, those are probably one of the reasons why they may be at 6. I think that Coach Lodge did a tremendous job when he was there. Shout out to Coach Lodge, but I think that Coach Calhoun is going to bring in, uh, his own style. I know that he's prepared. Like I'm not really worried about that. Hopefully the kids are buying into what he's doing, and I expect him to do a tremendous job out there this year. What's your thoughts about Seminole?
Yeah, absolutely. Coach Lodge did a tremendous job with Seminole the last few years. But you speak on Coach Calhoun. I had the distinct honor to sit in on the interview committee or the hiring committee for that position and just listen to Coach Calhoun during the interview process. The plan that he has for Seminole, it was very, very impressive. And if he can stick to it, I think that they'll see the success that they've always had. He's a Seminole guy. He graduated from Seminole, so there's a different level of pride that he's going to have for the program. Not saying that Coach Lodge didn't, but just being a Seminole, he understands what those young men go through. You talk about the quarterback Carson coming back to Seminole, leaving Lake Highland. Like they were 9-3 last season. If they don't have a quarterback injury with Luke Rucker at the end of last season, personally, I think they beat Apopka. And once you make it to the playoffs, things could happen. But Luke did not finish the season. He had back issues, and it just to me that was the pivotal point for their season. It just wrecked their season.
Yeah, I'm with you. I really believe if Luke plays, they go to state. I don't know if they beat Columbus, but they definitely go to state. I definitely believe that. Um, they had that kind of talent. We got to see them play against Coco. They had a lot of talent on that team. Uh, but I expect them to show us what they made of. I think it's going to be interesting. Uh,
And
that
they probably mad that they ranked this low. To be honest with you, they see it
oh,
as a sign of disrespect.
yeah,
And
yeah,
I
they do.
understand that.
Yeah, they do. But the thing is, the beautiful thing about these rankings and everything is that they always play themselves out, and and they're one of those teams that have one of those kind of schedules that. They don't have a soft schedule. They have some guys that they got to beat. So I expect them to put it out there. To do everything they're supposed to do. Defensively, I know they're going to be solid. I just wonder what'll happen offensively, to be honest. But we'll see. Next up, got them Edgewater Eagles over there. Off of Edgewater, you got they are ranked number 5. They lose. Not argue. They lost probably the best player in the area last year, Cedric Baxter. Uh, uh, you know, they do have talent behind them, which they showed last year because they won once Cedric got hurt. But uh, I think that the question mark is going to be the quarterback position. Is Mikey ready to handle that? Are the wide receivers are they healthy enough to come in? Besides Samaj, who we know is healthy, but is what's my boy name? I can't. But if is he healthy? That's a key thing. What's his
AJ,
name? Huh?
AJ, talking about Howard, AJ
Oh
Howard.
yeah, AJ, yeah, AJ, yep, yep, yep,
Yeah.
yeah. That's gonna be key. I mean, is KD gonna tote the ball? Like said, I think defensively they're probably gonna be a little better than what we saw last year. Matter of fact, I'm pretty positive of that. So I wouldn't count Coach Duke out. He's one of the better coaches in the area, and all these coaches that we're naming going forward from 5 on up have played in the state championship over the last 5 years, or at least won one. So, some of them played in 2 state championships. So we just want to make sure we point that out. And I'm not in the business of discounting good coaching. You know,
Right, right,
uh,
right.
you got anything
So
about Edgewater?
yeah, we look at Edgewater. I will answer one of your questions. You said, will KD run like said? No, he will not. But he will still be effective. I think he's 1,000-yard rusher. He's committed
No
to
doubt.
FAU. Coach Duke is a tremendous coach, good motivator. I went to the game 2 years ago when Edgewater played Jones, and Coach Duke, he made me want to strap it up. Like it was very motivating. Like seriously. But yeah,
I agree.
Mike at quarterback. Looking at the spring game against Osceola before he got injured, he was playing lights out. He looked like as if he grew 2 or 3 inches. He looked like he was a legit 6'3", and he has 3 more years at quarterback. So you talk about Samaj at receiver. He has 2 more years, only a junior. Um, so yeah, man, I think Edgewater they had an undefeated regular season. They lost in the playoffs to Jones, and quite frankly, Jones would have beat anybody they played that Saturday. So Edgewater just happened to be on the wrong end of it. But I like Edgewater at that number 5 spot for sure.
All right. Now, hey, with that being said, let's move on. Number 4, we had a Popka Blue Darters. It's someone asked me, you know, uh, why we were talking in the group and they were talking about a pop. I said it's hard to count those guys out. They lose players, and all they do is they keep having someone replace them. Every time you say, "Oh, there's no way they'll be able to replace this guy," especially we're talking about guys like uh, you know like Trayvon Barnes, for example. There's no way. And then Watson goes out and is first team All State. So Popka, the running thing is there's no way they'll be able to replace Caden. That's what you're hearing. Uh, I think that Payne might be able to do so. So the offense, if the offense is anywhere near better than what it's going to be, which falls on not only Lil Davidson but also falls on my frat brother who's the OC over there. They're gonna be hard. They're gonna be hard out. If they can really incorporate the spread with that defense, it's gonna be a real problem.
Yeah, when we look at a pop that there's 4 spot coach Rosen. He brings that tough attitude, tough family like culture at Apopka. But it's next man up. Like you mentioned, some of the guys that they've lost in the last few years: Nakai Martinez, Trey Barnes,
Jalen
Jalen
Carter.
Carter, Josiah Robinson. I'm talking about guys who were 2, 3, 4
They're
year starters.
playing. They're playing. They're
Um,
playing on Saturday, or in Jalen's case, on Sunday.
on Sunday, right? So when you look at Apopka, last year was supposed to be a down season. They were 11-4 and lost in the state championship to Columbus on the Philly special with a freshman quarterback. Now that freshman quarterback has a whole season under his belt. He also was going through a little a little quarterback battle at Apopka throughout the season. Now he knows that he's the man. So I think that Apopka is. I mean, I always the last 2 or 3 years when Apopka had to play Seminole, I thought Seminole had more talent, and I chose Seminole in those matchups. And some kind of how Apopka found a way to win those games, and that speaks on the culture. So yeah, I like Apopka at the fourth spot for sure.
Yeah, I mean the culture is a direct reflection of Coach Darlington put it in, but Coach Rolson has put his own spin on it. And shout out to Coach Rolson. I tell people all the time he gets probably one of the hardest knocks of any dude I've ever seen. All he does is win, 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 and people complain. I think he's a heck of a coach, and and a pretty decent dude. So hopefully those boys from Apopka can get there. They got to go through Seminole. We'll see. Who wins that. One of those two will come out of that region, and they'll
Yeah,
play. Because now the way they're doing it, they'll play the Columbus or Western. Miami Western got that lick. They got some transfers in. They got quite a few transfers in, so they should be good. And then of course, like I said, Olympia. Uh, uh,
yeah,
yeah,
I
but
know.
but
I'm
someone
saying the
just
same
said that
stuff you see.
someone just said when Olympia beats Apopka half to death, they want a public apology, and they say it'll be 35-8.
I
That's
mean, I really don't see what's the situation. We understand the talent that Olympia is bringing in, but
no,
at
no,
the
no,
same
stop, stop,
time,
stop, stop, stop.
Apopka's
They said
Apopka,
30.
man.
They said 35-8. So I just want to, before we go there, can I get
Hey,
a? I want a crab dinner. I'm not
hey,
even
hold
asking
on,
for
man.
wings.
Hold on,
I'm
man.
not even
Hold
asking for wings. I want a
on.
crab dinner. If they text me right now and put a crab dinner or a steak, and I'm not talking about you know like you bring the crab. I'm talking about we go to a nice crab restaurant or steak. And they said 35-8. I'm taking that all day. Ain't nobody beating up Hopkins 35-8. It just ain't happening. So I mean, I just can't see it happening. So uh, Flemings, I got a Flemings, bet
You
on
got
it.
what? You got your bet tonight?
I got me a Flemings bet tonight. I'm saying, boy, I
What
tell
was it?
everybody, man, a Popka, they got to be the Popka. That's 35-8. That is 27 points. So they got to be the Popka by 27 points. It could be
Minus
42 to
27 at the half?
yeah, not half. They
Yeah, man.
said that
Like,
I'm taking.
I
I'm
do.
taking that
I
Flemings. I'm taking that Flemings. I learned from the best. I learned from the best.
27
I'm
at
taking
the
it.
half.
I'm taking that one half. They talking about the whole game.
Oh, the game. I was gonna say if it's the half, I want some of that too.
No, no, I'm taking the whole game. I just so hey, APK don't let me down. I got like there's three schools I'm gonna always have love for. Period. APK because my oldest son played there. That's just being honest. Wakava because my baby boy started over there, and of course Ocoee. Those are the three schools I'm gonna always have love for. So, but APK, believe it or not, if I had to pick a team, I was brought up in the APK. Pop Warner, a lot of those kids I coach. So I kind of APK AAU, excuse me, and a lot of those guys, that's my neighborhood. So I would I want them to do well for certain. Let's see here. All right, so let's see. Let me see here. Number three, Jones High. Oh man, these Olympian parents over here going off. They say APK is old like Kmart. But anyway,
We shall see. That what game do they play?
all right, man,
Again.
that's got to be a game of the week. We'll make sure of that. Matter of fact, all you Olympia parents, get your sponsorship dollars together so that we can go ahead. It shouldn't be no problem. That's Windermere. Get the sponsorship dollars together because that's where you'll go. But we're going to give
Damn.
attention to
A Pop could play Olympia the fifth game of the season.
we got to figure it out. We got to.
Before they play Olympia, they got Seminole, Edgewater, Dr. Phillips.
Oh,
God,
no.
dog.
They got a gauntlet. They got a gauntlet.
And
So,
they start off with West Orange. No disrespect to West Orange.
yeah, well, West Orange is gonna play a Popka, tight anyway because
Everybody gonna
everybody, everybody want to be the Popka. It is what it is. So next up, another team that everybody want to beat and they can't seem to beat is the Jones Tigers. Jones is, arguably, in Orlando. That's why if you really look at it, they're gonna be our highest ranked Orlando Orange County team. they pretty much have done that over the last 5 years.
Yeah.
So shout out to him. You have my frat brother, Coach Will over there. Elijah Williams has been doing a tremendous job. Uh, we expect Jones to carry on the mantle. I still say it's going to come down to Jones and Edgewater to see who goes to the Final Four, and hopefully one of those guys could take us home. But Jones, I think you better get him early because I think as the season goes by, all those guys that are sophomores and juniors, they're not going to be sophomores and juniors anymore. Once you get to the playoffs, those guys are going to be, true upperclassmen. So I expect Jones to, really do well, out there. What's your thoughts about Jones and some of the and tell the people about some of the transfers that they may not know nothing about?
Yeah, Jones, man, shoot, like Orange County teams the last couple years, Jones is like, we just be honest, right now they running the O. Edgewater putting up a good fight with them, winning that district last year, but Jones beat them when it mattered. Jones has a tremendous receiver transferring in from Wildwood. Um, Trey, he, I mean, he has the skills, the talent. They also have Trevor coming in at quarterback from West Orange. Tyron Randall is going to be a household name to some people. If you don't know him, obviously everyone know DeAndre Robinson. But Jones, they like you said, you better catch them early. Kickoff Classic, they start with Jesuit. Then their first game of the season is against Cocoa. So that's
Oh yeah.
a battle right off the bat. What's up?
Before I forget, two things I want to point out. Olympia has a kid that committed to Harvard. Because we always talk about the kids are more than just athletes. And Jones, as a kid that took an official visit to Princeton, said Demona.
Yeah,
Shout out to him and his mom. That's big time. I always want to, compliment those kids. They don't get enough attention. We as a community got to do a better job, and we have kids that are doing those type of things to promote that because to me that's more important. I like all the other offers, but those offers are tremendous because it shows you they're well rounded. Not only are they good athletes, they also are good students. So uh, shout out to Sid, 'cause we left him out, and then of course Bobo, who's been
Bobo.
through a
Yeah.
lot of adversity, but he keeps coming back. So I'm very proud of him as well.
And
All
don't
right.
forget last year that Jones had an offensive lineman, Xavier of Arena. He actually committed and he's at Yale. So Jones last year had a
Yeah.
player go to Ivy League. So it's not, I mean, obviously we know it's a quote unquote all black school, but they're showing that the student athlete part of the deal is very important. So yeah, I like Jones at that 3 spot
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah, man. I love it at that 3 spot. I think that uh, big shout out
Two and
to
three could have been either way though.
yeah.
So just two and
Oh,
three
two
could have
and three
both
gonna take
been.
care of itself because our number two team and is the Cocoa Tigers. So
Yeah,
one we are pretty much ready. Whoever 2 and 3, no matter what, a Tigers gonna win. So we're gonna have a number two at the Tigers anyway. But Cocoa, once again, they're doing a tremendous job. Uh, you know, we're doing a real good job of really basically just keeping a lot of those guys, there at Coco. Coco Pride, Coco. I went out there, and met with those guys. And to be honest, one of the things that I admired is, man, those kids were, they looked good and they were very respectful. Very, when I went out there, it was college coaches coming in, and they handled themselves very well. So Coco is going to be a force to reckon with. I think a lot of people, think that they won't be because they did lose some quality players, but they reloaded. They reloaded. So, you got anything to say about those Cocoa Tigers?
yeah. Cocoa Tigers winning the state championship last year. Coach Schneider does a tremendous job with the offense. Went to that game last year against Jones in the rain, and he threw the ball 40 plus times with Blake Boda. Blake Boda led the state in passing yards, over 40 passing touchdowns. He has went on to Coastal Carolina, but they got a young stud, Brady Hart, who's already heavily recruited at the quarterback position. Um, Obviously, they lose Day Day, but they have a rising junior in Javon Boggs, who had just shot under 800 yards receiving last year. I think he'll lead that. He'll be one of the top receivers in the area. um, just based off his skill set. But yeah, I like Coco. They're another program that has a real family-like atmosphere and family-like environment. So it doesn't surprise me when I see them go into hostile territories like they did last year against Seminole, and they were down. I think
Two
Seminole was up
touchdowns.
like
They're
yeah,
down
two
two touchdowns
two,
in the
almost three.
fourth quarter. Two touchdowns in the fourth quarter.
And Coco fought back in the second half.
Yeah.
Seminole didn't score a point the whole second half until the overtime period. So that when I see things like that, that just speaks a lot about Coco. And then they have the Jimmies and they have all the Joes in Brevard County that wants to go there. So not saying that it's easy to win when you have that talent because you still have to put it all together, but they always have a plethora of talent at Coco.
Yeah, with that being said, it's not much left to be said. We might as well, while Coco, hey, shout out to those guys. They should get to state once again. So these are like Coco should win state, and it is what it is. But this team right here, if they don't win state, I'm calling for the coach's job. That is the Daytona Mainland, home of the highest jumping brother ever in world history, Vince Carter. I will dare someone to argue with me on that, but I tell anybody, Mainland is loaded. I mean, like they are truly loaded. They're one of the, and a lot of those guys. They better thank God that James Randall transferred back south. Because
Shit.
if like I'm telling you, they would have been hard. They're gonna be hard to deal with anyway.
Yeah.
But defensively, they put you in the mindset of the old Wakavas, some of those old Apopka teams, some of those DP teams. I think it's gonna be hard to score. You're gonna have to score over 14 points to beat them, and that's gonna be hard to do. It's going to be hard to score 14 points. So your defense better be good too. But they are loaded. They so loaded to me. They have too many players to name. I can just start, really truly naming like, both corners. Like they're loaded. They got guys at the same position on the field. The defensive line, linebackers.
They
They are
got
loaded.
multiple DNs.
Right, right. They loaded. They really are. So they're gonna be well coached. Big shout out once again, like you said something. One thing about these last five teams that we named, they are all programs, or even Seminole. Those six teams are all
So,
programs,
yeah.
and and you just can't discount that. These kids grow up wanting to play for those teams. Like they literally want to play for those guys. So big shout out to those guys. Uh,
Yeah,
you got anything about Malin?
you look at Mainland M Block. I mean, they just last year was Coach Rowland's second year. First year there, they went to the playoffs, lost to Jones. Last season, they lost in the state championships to an undefeated Lake Wales. I got to see them play a couple times last year. Very impressed with them. Zay Mincy, All American corner DB. Then on the other side, you add Isaiah Shine, a 6'2", highly recruited DB. McLeod is there on offense clearance, so he'll look to pick up that slack from James Randall. But yeah, they lucky James Randall transferred, but Rodney Hill comes from Flagler Palm Coast. They got a lot of talent. Young guy, Philip Moore, a DB 6'3", 190. Like he's gonna be one of the top recruited players in the area when it's all said and done. But I like Mainland at that one spot. I do predict them to go and win the state championship this year. I know
Okay.
it's a lot of pressure, but I like Mainland to win the state championship and represent Central Florida all year.
Yeah, man. I'm gonna tell you right now, man. If Mainland doesn't win, Travis Rowland is gonna have
You
to.
can't keep saying that, bro. That people gonna think you for real when you say stuff like that.
I'm for real. Hey,
No,
hey,
bro, you
hey,
can't be
hey,
for real.
hey. See, Travis Rowland. No, I mean what I say. The
No.
target is squarely on his back. Mainland should win. They went to the state semifinals. They went to state finals last year and barely
Yeah, they
lost.
lost. They lost in the state championship last year.
Right, and barely lost. It wasn't like they got like they could have won the game.
Exactly. So how could you put that much pressure on somebody? Say if you don't do it, you need to
Hey,
find
now,
another job.
now, now you got to win it. You got to win it. You know, that's my dog though. For those who don't know, me and that's one of the best guys I know. To be totally honest, and I'm just proud that he's able to, like, a lot of these guys are able to do it in the communities that they grew up in.
Yeah.
That's always a plus, and so I'm very proud of him, and what he's trying to do is bigger than the football piece for him. It really is. He's trying to make these some real quality young men. So big shout out to Trav on that. So that pretty much takes care of that. So hey, that's where we at. So any questions and answers? This is your last time. If for all the people that are upset, feel free to you know make a quick comment. I'm gonna give you like a minute or two. Oh, and then we have myself, or a lot of people are scared to put what they're gonna put in the group chat. So my phone be banging up, but supposedly, uh nah, Steven,
I
they don't.
disagree.
Nah,
I
the
give
easiest pass is easily Coco, and like to get to the ship, Coco easily. Like they
Coco,
easy.
Olympia, or
Olymp-
whoever else is
Olympia's to get to the Final Four.
right.
Coco as the least to get
Coco
to
has
the
no
ship.
clue.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So this is a question. Let's see. You have Brandon Dumazil. Why is Olympia so low?
I ain't know
Brand-
7 was low. It's like 80 plus schools that we cover. So they 7 out of 86, and that's low. What are people talking about? They was unranked last season. Like, you just don't come wake up in the top 5. That ain't how life works. You got to prove something to me.
yeah, I mean, like my thing is, uh, last season, what were they, like,
They
5 and 6?
exactly. So what are we talking about? Let's not act like
So
they
it's
was
not like
82.
there's some teams out there that they were 8-2, and I mean, Brandon, are you saying that the transfers that they have coming in, is that, are you saying that's going to be like a West Orange type season where the transfer come in, and they should immediately jump all these other teams that historically had good teams? Is that what we're talking about? I mean,
Look,
I'm just asking.
if we calling a spade, the teams that we have ranked over them, mainland lost in the state championship and returns a plethora of the players. Not and also they mainly got transfers just like Olympia. So like we to look at Coco. Coco won the state championship.
And return a lot of players.
Turned a lot of players. They also get transfers. Kids in Brevard County, they want to go play for Coco too. We look at Jones. They lost in the semifinals to the team to Homestead.
Hey,
Um,
AJ, I just got a tweet, man. We don't even have to address it. Let's leave
yeah.
it alone, because
We look at a
because
Apopka. Nah, I'm
No,
finna
no,
finish
no,
it.
No,
We look
AJ,
at
no,
Apopka. They
AJ,
lost in the
AJ,
state
trust me,
championship.
no, AJ, trust me, no. That, like, just leave it alone. I'll explain why we get off the horn. So it we gotta leave that one alone. But but we appreciate it. I agree. Thank you. I think we did a great job. Should be an exciting season for Central Florida, and we look forward to seeing all you guys a little bit. And like I said, we starting up what we got, kickoff classic games next week.
Hey, and hold on, was Brandon? Is that a kid? Was that's? I think he a player. He a
He's a
player on
player,
the
dog.
damn team.
He's a
He
player,
over here.
man.
Hey, son, get in that playbook. Stop worrying about these preseason rankings. All right, boy, get in the damn playbook. Make sure you ready. Don't worry about where you rank preseason. Worry about where you rank at the end of the season. All right, my man.
Hey, man, like I said, I'm gonna leave it alone. He obviously, shout out to him for trying to fit his team's honor. But I would choose 7 is not a bad place to be. It doesn't matter if you don't hear nothing else, young man. Please hear this. It's not how you start; it's how you finish. Always remember that. That'll take you a long way in life. It's not how you start; it's how you finish. So, I hope that you guys can make us eat crow, and I hope that our end of the year, that you guys are definitely higher than 7, because I don't have a dog in the fight. My son will go to college, and AJ don't got a dog in the fight.
Hey,
Uh,
but honestly, but he supposed to feel how he supposed to feel. Every team on here should feel like they rank lower. And when I talk to all the kids, they let me know exactly how they feel. Oh, why you got rid of that? So I
nah,
understand it. It's all good.
yeah, Yeah, nah, man, it's what it is. Like I say, at the end of the day, they kids, but they gotta understand it's not where you start, it's where you finish.
Right.
Use it as motivation,
But he a good
and
kid though.
nah,
He
he's
a
a
good
great
kid.
kid, great
Yeah, he
kid.
a good kid
So,
though.
you know, yeah, so that's what it is. So, uh, man, let me get off this line, man, because my phone is blowing up, and so, man, uh, hopefully you guys enjoyed the show. Which basically next week is what, spring games. I mean, kickoff classes is like the 12th or whatever, or kickoff class the 18th.
Kickoff class is the 18th.
All right, so we got 2 weeks to the kickoff classic. We will have another show next week, and we'll be going through the top 10 of each position for seniors next week. Only and only if we can get you guys to get us subscribers up.
Hey,
So
I
make sure.
don't know, bro. I try to be positive, to be honest with you. But we only at like 107. So I don't know if we getting to
Yeah,
300.
nah. If they don't get 300, we ain't give. Hey, the seniors ain't gonna do it. I'm gonna hold myself to that. If they don't get a 300, man, we just ain't doing it. I'm just being honest. So, hey, guys, we really need to get our subscribers up so that we can actually
He said ain't
broadcast the
no
games on
demand for it.
YouTube.
No, we don't got to do it. Ain't no demand for it, right?
Yeah, man. If we trying to get you guys broadcast and do it live, so all we ask you for is to get our subscribers up. So please, whatever you can do, do it. So all right, man. Well, we appreciate you, and we'll leave it at that. So we expect, and for those guys who are out there at Olympia, that just so you do guys do know, I do have quite a few of those kids over there I rock with, but. As in full fairness to them and everyone else, we have to go with what we really feel. The Ware brothers are definitely two I rock with, and Kamal and the two Chubbies. I've known those kids since youth football, so that's at least five that I really, really rock with. But I feel bad, but hey, I have to go with what we know. So, like I
And
told those
yeah,
kids, prove me wrong.
exactly. And to add on to that point, anybody who just think that we just up here just doing this, the Ware brothers are like family to me, right? So I really honestly believe that Olympia has talent that we could have ranked them one, two, three. But on a professional level, I cannot discredit Mainland, Coco Jones, Apaka, not to mention Mello, Zay, like all them boys, Josh, them are boys. But they got to show me.
Hey, you got to show me it is what it is. So hey, hopefully they'll use that as motivation, and they'll show us, and we'll be there. I tell you what, we'll make sure that we at the game against Apopka though. Since one of the parents met me the steak dinner, so we got it. So all right, anybody else want to before we go? That's gonna be our last thing. We're gonna ask everybody if they want some bets to put them out there. Anybody got any bets? Make sure you contact us, message us on Facebook info. We take all kind of dinner bets. So just let us know. All right. We appreciate y'all. You got anything for the people?
Nah, man, we'll see y'all next week.
Peace.
Peace.